Let's welcome in our guests, Ruchit Jain and Hemant Tukral, joining us today. Ruchit, let's get your call on the index going first. How's it looking, particularly after that little bit of weakness setting in yesterday?
Well, good morning, Abha. Overall, you have seen the last 7-8 trading sessions, Nifty has traded in the narrow range of 74.20 to 75.80. Now, if we see within this consolidation in last 3 days, Nifty has formed an evening star pattern that is around the resistance area of 89 EMA and 61.8% retracement of fall from 79.50 to low of 6800. So probably this shows that markets are taking resistance near this 89 EMA, and probably some sort of corrective movement could be seen in near term. However, said that since we are since we have seen quite a bit range bound trading in last 7-8 trading sessions, so it's it's imperative that market should give some follow up selling to conclude that the recent high would act as a strong resistance. Unless we see follow up selling, we believe that there would be more of a stock specific movement in the market rather than index giving any opportunity to trade over here. So for near term traders, 74.20 to 75.80 stays the range for trading, and when breakout comes up on either side, I think a momentum, directional movement would take up only on either side breakout.
Right. Good morning, Ruchit. I wanted to just take a look at the sugar rally, if I may. What do you make out of it? Is it sustainable? And would you differentiate some sugar stocks with the other? Because some of them have just kind of sprung up. They are 5-6 rupee stocks. Even on 50,000 volume, they're hitting a freeze. Is there more momentum there? And which specific ones would you stick with if you have to?
Good morning. Well, we have already seen some good momentum in the stocks in last 5-6 months, wherein the index have not shown that big upside momentum. These stocks have already shown good rally in last 5-6 months. I think now here on further 7 to 8% upsides in stocks such as Renuka, Balrampur Chini could be seen. But if we see some medium to long term charts in this, then they are now approaching their respective resistance area. So I am not anticipating much greater upside momentum continuing from current levels. I think those who have already bought these sugar stocks at lower levels, it's good time that in this rally one should look to book profits and come out of these stocks.
And Richard, I'll just ask you a follow-up question, but I wanted to show some charts. See, let's take a look at chart of Oud Sugar. It's up about 200% in about a year's time. If you can give me a yearly chart also on this. Now, I'll show you why there is a difference. You can't treat all the sugar stocks the same way. Now, some stocks are consistently moving higher. That's fine. Now, I'll take another one, Thiru Arun. THIRU, because yesterday, I mean, some of the names you don't even think about start to rise. AROON, if you have Thiru Arun. Now, if you look at this chart, this is very volatile. It spikes up and then it just falls back. So you can't take, don't look for cheaper sugar stocks because they're going to put you in trouble later on. Let's take a look at this Shakti Sugars. Do you have a Shakti Sugar and Upper Ganges Sugar? So, again, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. That's the thing. You get stuck on that top point and you try to get out on the bottom point. Same with this Upper Ganges Sugar. And that's the reason I brought it up for you. Let's take a look at one more, that Rana Sugar that I said. So, Ruchit, just a follow-up question. Even if you have to stick with a sugar chart, would you rather stick with the ones that are consistently got time, price, volume, momentum sustained for a long period of time, or some of them that just started to say, okay, let's just join the rally?
Yeah, so many of the stocks, if you you have just shown that more of them are illiquid stocks. Generally, we don't see that kind of liquidity coming in the stocks. Now, after this already good momentum given by some stocks such as Balrampur Chini, you see Renuka Sugar, you see now all these mid cap and small cap other sugar stocks have started participating. So for traders who are there, generally where stocks the liquidity is quite less in such stocks, and only it's 1 or 2 days where such high liquidity comes, they should clearly avoid such kind of stocks. They should not get in the stocks after they've already rallied by 200%. As you've seen, some of the stocks they've already rallied by 150%, already rallied by 200%, and the volumes have started now coming in. So probably it's just the follow-up momentum which they are doing after a good amount of rally coming in large stocks such as Balrampur Chini is there, Renuka Sugar is there. So I think traders should not get carried over by this up move now. Yeah, there was a good opportunity if we see 3 months back when the stocks were consolidating at lower levels. But probably now after such an up move from trading perspective, if anyone wants to take a long position over here, then definitely the risk reward ratio won't be in favorable. You would have a larger risk than what reward could be seen in near term. So traders should not get carried away after this already up move which has happened now. Those who have already taken position at lower level, it's good for them that they are getting a good amount of profits here. But those who have already missed out this rally, so then they should stay away from current levels rather than playing out after a missed out feeling.
Okay, fair enough. Richard, I'm taking a look at some of the other stocks that you have in focus today. You've got a few sell calls also coming in. Just run us through some of those strategies.
Yeah, so among the sell call, we are recommending to go short on Glenmark Pharma. Basically, if we just see the pharma index itself, then in yesterday's trading session, most of the large cap pharma were have shown good correction. The index itself is indicating that we may see some more correction coming in the pharma index. Overall, last 8 to 9 months, the low top, low bottom formation is there in place in most of the stocks. And after this up move, recent up move of last 10-15 trading sessions, it seems that it's just a resumption of the downside momentum coming in. Similarly, in Glenmark Pharma, yesterday's trading session, we have seen formation of a bearish engulfing pattern. Well, this is a reversal pattern, and formation of this pattern after a corrective up move indicates that the stock may resume its downside momentum near term. Now, the bearish pattern has also been formed near its 89 EMA resistance on daily charts, and hence we are anticipating a corrective move up to 762 in near term. One can go short at current levels with stop loss placed above 845. My next sell call is in Eicher Motors. We have seen some good momentum in this stock in last few months. Although it's it's an investor fancy stock, but if we see, then there was a gap resistance around 20,200, 20,220, and last couple of sessions the stock has tested that gap resistance area and started correcting from there. A rising wedge pattern has been formed, and we are anticipating a corrective move in this up to 18,450. And Eicher Motors hence is another good short candidate with stop loss about 275.
Did speak to the Eicher management. They've got a new launch coming in. It's called Himalayan, and they're calling it the Mean Machine. So Siddharth Lal, in fact, speaking to us on what this new launch is all about, and what they're expecting from it. Listen.
For Royal Enfield, this is a brand new motorcycle, and for India also it's a brand new segment. There is no adventure tourer really in India, so it's very difficult to say what the market potential will be. It could take off really quickly, it may take some time, but for us the idea is not about that as much as about creating an environment of adventure cycling in India. You can see the groundswell in terms of people wanting to do more of that, and really that's where we've come out with this motorcycle, which we believe will sort of catalyze adventure touring in India, and it'll take some time before it takes off, but we believe it will be very interesting for the market. All of our efforts right now in 2016 are focused on this, on the Himalayan, which is our adventure tourer, and of course we have said that we're going to launch new motorcycles. Next one you're going to see is next substantial one, let's put it that way, is in 2017. But for now, all eyes on the Himalayan for us. R&D expense has been growing, and of course we have multiple platforms and multiple new models in the pipeline. So our R&D expenditure as a whole has been rapidly growing, but so has our top line been growing commensurately. Currently we're in the process of building 2 new tech centers. So one is in Chennai, which is our mothership really, and that's the big tech center that we're building. But we're building another substantial tech center up near Leicester in the UK, where we already have a lot of engineers. We have over 50 people working there, and we're expanding that tech center. A lot of our new motorcycles, which are, let's say, designed for an international markets perspective, they're being designed out of UK. So all of that's happening now.
I think it looks pretty good, Ashu. Do you think you might be interested in one of those?
Well, I never drove motorcycles, so but I love them otherwise.
All right. We've got Hemant Thakral also joining in. Let's get his views going as well. Hemant, on the index first, given that yesterday we saw a bit of a dip, today the SGX still indicating a steady start. What's your sense?
See, good morning. I think still that 75 call writers are basically haunting everyone, because if you see when Nifty went up to 75.50, 75.60, there was no unwinding. Yesterday also they have closed with 71 lakh shares. So it's very clear that we do require Nifty to surge above that 75.50, 75.60 mark and sustain above it, so that there is some unwinding which comes in. Otherwise it will always act as a stiff resistance, and then again we will have to continuously go on retesting 74, 74.30 on the downside and recheck whether that support holds or not. So I think what I was hearing from the fellow analyst also, it's more or less in a trading range right now, and the range is getting compressed. You are getting the range into 100 points now. So definitely in 1 or 2 days maybe there's a breakout on the either side. But unless until we see that 75 call writer getting unwinded, which is only possible if there's a big gap up somehow and they don't get a chance to get cover their calls, then only you will see them unwinding their positions. So putting very precisely, what we have recommended people is to just stay away right now, because if it breaks below 74.30, then we will be going short, or at least pushing people to unwind all long positions and re-enter around 72.50, 7300 levels. No long positions we are recommending right now in Nifty unless until 75.50 is crossed.
Good morning, Hemant. Before I come to you, I just wanted to put up the Smita, if you have either the small cap chart, small cap index on BSE or NSE, whichever one, and if you can just put up a 1 month on this one. Hemant, the real activity seems to be happening on small cap stocks. The list seems to be getting longer and longer, and the long forgotten stocks are suddenly running into a freeze. What would you suggest? Because usually that's the retail part of the market. Everybody gets in at the same time. But when they try to leave, there's nobody to pick it up from them, because these stocks usually don't have any institutional interest. So I'll start with sugar, but it's happening across the board on mid cap to small cap, pharma, mid cap to small cap, IT. All of them seem to be getting this enthusiasm or exuberance out there.
See, I think this will always happen, Ashu. This we have seen, because it seems that people have a perception that large caps are supposed to be left to FIs, and moment FIs start pumping in money, people start finding stories in the mid cap side for trading, and that always will remain. I'll give you one example. In Bank Nifty, I have seen in last 4 or 5 sessions stocks like UCO Bank, Syndicate Bank, IOB, they have started attracting open interest. Whereas people I would have if you recommend people to buy SBI, ICICI Bank, they actually shy away, and they feel that it's a job of FIs to pick up these stocks and move forward. So I think the story is repeating itself. Yesterday we saw UCO Bank making a big open interest additions clearly. So retail is interested in these stocks, so you have to recommend these. So like we have recommended today UCO Bank to buy with a stop loss of 35.50 and a target of 38, 70 and 39. But that is the story, Ashu. You recommend ICICI Bank, people will not buy. It's the FIs which are buying the large caps, and retail will always buy the mid caps. So, but we all have to understand, I totally agree to your viewpoint and all viewers, that you have to keep a very tight stop loss in mid caps, because once the mid cap selling starts, then FIs will, there is no automatic buyer like FIs coming and saving at lower levels. So definitely the pinch is higher. But yes, it's a true story. Even in a sector which is doing good like banking right now, you recommend mid caps, then only retail starts to participate.
All right, let's take a very quick break. We'll come back and continue that conversation with Hemant and Ruchit in just a moment. Listen into some more trading strategies as well as we do back in just a jiffy.
If you look at the overall structure, none of the days till now we have seen a closing below the previous day's low, which again tells us that there is still strength in this particular ongoing trend. If you look at the momentum oscillators, they are yet to see the overbought zone. So the probability of a reversal from here on remains high. We are just trading near the lower band of the trend of the band, and it provides a very good reward to risk opportunity to create longs. So what we expect is that the markets to trend higher so long as 70% 2400 is maintained, and this can be a very good stop loss for all the trading longs. So the bias continues to be on the positive side. If you look at Axis Bank right now, 425 is an immediate resistance for the stock, and we expect momentum to accelerate above this particular level. So longs can be initiated at this point of time, keeping a stop loss at around 410. We expect an initial up move right up to 440. A second call is also on the buying side, wherein if you look at the overall movement in yesterday's session, in the last half we saw some upticks coming back in the cement space. This is where we like Ultratech Cement. If you look at the weekly structure, the stock has already broken out from rounding formation. We expect this particular up move to continue. We expect the stock to head higher towards the level of 3130, and stop loss can be placed at around 2940, and the stock can be participated on the long side. The final call would be a sell call on Zee Limited. If you look at the overall structure, we have seen that the stock has been trending down. The recent up move that we have seen in the stock, 400, has been a very good resistance for the stock, and we have seen a lot of supply coming down to near that level. A clear double top kind of a scenario is evident now, and thus it is quite compelling to sell this particular counter even at this point of time. We expect the stock to head lower towards the level of 370, and stop loss can be placed around 396, and sell can be initiated.
Welcome back. You're with us here on Street Smart, and we were in conversation with Hemant Thukral and Richard Jain on some of the strategies that they've got going today. Ashu, we were in the middle of quite a hectic conversation there. I think you had a follow-up for Hemant.
Yeah, you know, Hemant, in fact, it's great you mentioned that. That's the point I was looking at, that there is a lot of retail interest in the market. That's why we are seeing some of these mid-cap run. So Hemant, whatever you have in mind that you think, because you hit the nail on the head, everybody likes a smaller price stock, not necessarily cheap, but smaller priced. Which ones would you suggest at this moment? And also if you can comment on what's happening in sugar, because the rally seems to be, you know, just filtering down to stocks that you know, we stopped looking at years ago.
Ashu, sugar actually I don't track now because none of the stocks are available in FNO. But as I said, what we have started to recommend is that the sectors which are looking strong, and within them some of the mid caps. So UCO Bank, I mentioned banking. Similarly, if you see mid-cap reality, yesterday started seeing some fresh OI being built up. HDIL, India Bulls Real Estate, both of them saw good open interest built up. IB Real we have picked up today because that's one stock which has added 6.5% on open interest, and delivery volumes have also surged up. The stock has been taking a formidable support around that 51, 50, 52 mark, and then surges up. So in last 1 month, 4 to 5 times it has respected that support. So
rates, we saw the BOJ take a pass today. Amazing core recall. And it's people talking about a potential earnings recession. It's aggressive stimulus.
So out of HDIL or IB Real, we have picked IB Real for the traders. So I would be looking at that today.
Okay, if we just take a look at the screens on the pre-open
rates, we saw the BOJ take a pass today.
Late trading, the company beating on earnings and missing on revenue, plus it authorized an additional $10 billion buyback program. Stock up.
Slump, but recovering fast, Ashu.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Not much to read into this. I think the market, again, you remember 4 or 5 days ago we said we're all looking at each other to see where is it going. It's that kind of market today. So let's just wait and see how these things play out when the market opens.
Okay, Hemant, what are the chances of actually slipping below 7,400 right now? I mean, you know, the chances of actually seeing a further bottom from here. I know we just touched upon the index, but just want to run through that with you again, and also get a call on the Bank Nifty.
See, I'll put it this way, that it's the Bank Nifty which is actually looking to ensure that Nifty should not go below 74.
3%.
Because if you see what has happened in last 3 sessions is that Nifty is virtually not seeing any open interest.
There is always,
whereas Bank Nifty is seeing more aggressive additions, and when we see FI's number, it is index futures which are buying. So I will not be surprised that some of the buyings are even happening on the Bank Nifty front, because OI is increasing there. It is now sustaining above 15,000. So that's the risk. If Bank Nifty falls below 15,000, I think very plainly I can take a call that Nifty will slip below 74 very easily. So we should rather watch Bank Nifty very closely. And Bank Nifty is suggesting that it has the potential to test 15,650, 15,700. So I think that is important. And one thing I would like to mention here, one more thing is that even if Bank Nifty is difficult to watch, you should watch ICICI Bank and SBI. Main reasons, they are the ones which were carrying the maximum short positions from last 4 series. And this series we have seen the shorts getting unwinded. Already the stocks have moved up sharply, but if you see, the put writers are gaining strength. So ICICI Bank, if it doesn't violate 218, it has the potential to go up to 230. So I think that is one stock which will actually define the sentiment of the market, because it has a huge weightage in Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. So we are more bullish on Bank Nifty right now. We have recommended people to hold longs or make fresh longs also, with a stop loss of 14,950 on Bank Nifty spot and a target of 15,600.
Okay, we also have the currency open. Let's pull that up for you on your screen. And we've got Keka Kurkute joining us on the line with a reaction on that. Rupee right now trading at about that 67.3 mark. Keta, how's the currency looking to you?
Good morning. We are seeing a very range-bound movement today ahead of the Fed meeting. Market is in a wait-and-watch mode before giving any direction. We are looking for a 30 to 40 paisa move from 67.10 to 67.40 move for the currency.
All right, looks fairly range-bound for now. Keta, thanks so much for that quick check and watching out for the Fed. That's clearly the headline across most of our analysts right now. Ruchit, let me bring you back in here as well. You know, Hemant, they're talking about some of the banks. What's your call on the Bank Nifty and some of the banking heavyweights right now?
Well, speaking about the index, more or less, it's same in line with what Hemant just said. Probably we have seen last 8 trading sessions, Bank Nifty has been consolidating sideways, and we have not seen any signs of reversal patterns or any sign of weakness coming in the individual heavyweight stocks. So probably, most of the Bank Nifty constituents, if you see, then it comprises of private sector banks and SBI amongst the PSU banks. We are anticipating one more leg of up move in Bank Nifty index. Probably maybe up to 15,650, 15,680 is where the next resistance is coming in. 89 days exponential moving average on the daily charts, and January highs were there from where Bank Nifty had last shown correction. So I think Bank Nifty would give one more leg higher up to 15,650, 15,680 from here on. Any longs should be protected with stop loss below 14,990. And among the stocks, individual stocks, we are recommending to go long in State Bank of India. Well, last few trading sessions, along with the index, the stock has also consolidated in a sideways range. But now the stock is showing strength. It's showing that with a bit of rising volumes, the prices are showing strength. And I think on the higher side, 196.5 is where this next resistance is coming in. So the stock has potential to go up to that level. So keeping a stop loss below 176 at current levels, short-term traders can initiate a buying position for target of 196.5. And again, said that I'm not anticipating a major upside momentum, or it's a trend reversal, wherein again uptrend would start. It's just a trading bet for short-term traders, and hence, it should be just done from next 10 to 12 days perspective.
Let's take a look at a couple of other stocks. Whirlpool, if we can just put Whirlpool up, one-day chart and also a one-month chart. The charts are pretty strong. It's broken through some resistances, so we'll take a look at it. Would you have a chart on this one? And also Prism Cement. Same thing that Hemant said. Some of that rally that we had in, the main stocks is filtering in. So Whirlpool's pretty strong. And if you can just bring up Prism Cement, 1 month chart, if we'll take a look at it. Hemant, I'm just going to read out a couple of stocks. If you can just, if any of them are under your coverage or you look at them, if you can mention what do you think about their move. Sasken, Mastech, Sonata, Vadilal, Venky's, Whirlpool. Anything else that you have on your list?
Ashwin, none of them are in FNO, so I don't track closely. But I'll just mention this is what is visible very clearly. See, again, IT is not able to participate in the rally on the large cap side, but mid cap IT has been seeing consistent buying coming in. So it's very clear that retail have been very choosy about the stocks that they are entering, and it's more of a business that they are, I think, banking on. But definitely the stocks that you just mentioned, I do not track any of them, so I would not like to comment on them.
All right, Richard, let me put the same question to you. Any of those stocks on your radar?
See, most of the stocks that have been named are generally illiquid. It's just last couple of days we have seen some good momentum picking up with higher volumes. But I don't think retail traders, it's that kind of market where retail traders should after the movement, good momentum has come, retail traders should chase those stocks and buy in. When there's a bull market, when prices, index is forming high top, high bottom, when all the prices are going up, it's that time wherein, even if you chase the higher prices, then there is a potential that the prices would go further higher and you may get good returns. But when the market itself has not yet resumed the uptrend, or when the market itself is not yet decisive of any significant uptrend resumption, there would be many stocks on a day-to-day basis wherein there would be sharp upside momentums coming in. So retail traders should definitely stay away and should not get carried away by a couple of days movement.
If I may ask you to just share this with us out of your experience. Yesterday, we look at a net number for index futures. To me, it doesn't give any real indication unless we look at the gross number. I mean, what is the volume these guys are getting in and out of? So yesterday it was, I think, around 1100 crores. Today's data on index futures seems to say buying of around 1900 crores, selling of 1300 crores. How should we read this, Hemant? How should we interpret this data when we get this FI data, in terms of deciding the direction of the market?
See, Ashu, in any case, we always consider all FIs as one. That is also a wrong thing. But the idea here is that whenever we consider the FI data, we are predominantly looking at 2-3 things. One, if they are continuously buying index futures, that's always a healthy sign for the market, because that gives a momentum that they are looking on the positive side. If they are buying options along with the index futures, buying that also helps, because at least they are hedging their positions and still they are looking on the positive side. Right now, the two things which are slightly worrisome for me, they are buying index futures and selling stock futures. Now this usually happens when they feel that Nifty will remain more stable and individual stocks may be coming off, or maybe they have formed the top pattern. So that's why the market is not able to see the momentum. The real momentum only comes when they buy index futures, when they buy stock futures, and suddenly the market will start to show a blast on the upside. So we just have to watch few things that we usually closely watch. Whenever FIs sell index futures and start buying options in a very big manner, that is the point I am really worried, because that means they are expecting volatility to move up with the index coming down. That once it comes in, then it's a very clear-cut thing that the market has to drop sharply. So these are few indicators. Obviously, this is, let me be very clear, this is more of a subjective study that we do. I don't think anybody can really predict what FIs are doing and what a particular FI wants to do. But this is more of a subjective indicators that we use, and we try to predict the movement through them.
Okay, let me also bring in Sandeep Shenoy and Mohit Gaba, also joining us in the studio this morning. We've also got Hemant Thakral and Richard Jain that we have been speaking with. So lots of different views for you. Sandeep, let me also come to you, in taking off from what Hemant was saying as well, in terms of opportunities in this market. How are you viewing the current state of things? We have been looking a little weak to cautious in the last day, and of course even this morning, a little quiet right now.
Well, I think the sideways movement is going to be there for quite some time, notwithstanding with the fact that the advanced tax figures of some of the companies may be slightly on the encouraging side. Yes, I think we have had a good cut in the market. Quite a few of the players have taken a wallop right on their chin. But the sideways movement, once it's it pans out, I think the fundamentals and valuation metrics of the markets on a broader basis would probably align, and that's where I think longer-term investment can be done. And long-term investors who are looking at some of the upper-end stocks would probably step in. But mind you, it's going to be quite a long sideways movement for the time being.
Okay, Morning, Mohit. What do you make out first of all on the index, and anything on the short or long side of it?
Well, talking about the index, I have a bullish bias as long as we trade above 7400 to 7430 zones. That's a critical zone for me. And if the index breaks it with force, then you can turn negative and say 7250 can come on the charts. But until then, have a long bias. What I really like about the index, within the index, is the Bank Nifty. It's held up pretty well, and most of the time you see the Bank Nifty lead an up or down move in the index. So for me, until the Bank Nifty trades above 15,000, there's no sign to be bearish on it. 15,000 for me is a critical level from the Bank Nifty.
Yeah, and what about sugar stocks? And anything specific, because the charts don't seem to replicate each other. Some have a longer term chart, or some of them just kind of making a move immediately.
You're right, sugar's been on a really strong up move the last few months, and amongst them, what I like better are Balrampur Chini and Oat Sugar, because they're close to or trading at all-time highs. So we've had buys on them the last entire week or 2 weeks, and they've continued to move higher. The best way is just to trail them with a trailing stop loss. So talking about even what's breaking out today is actually Renuka Sugar as well. What it did yesterday was really good in terms of price action. We could see levels of maybe 17, 18 on it. So all the sugar stocks in general are looking all right.
All right. All right. In fact, we were talking about some of those banking names with Hemant as well. We're just scanning down to open now, and we had Ruchit also give us a couple of strategies there with regards to SBI, for example. Sandeep, let me get your take on banks too, and both the Bank Nifty as well as some of the heavyweights like an ICICI, for example.
Well, I think the entire pain of the system seems to be drawing to an end. It's still not come to an end. You probably may see some larger numbers, the big bath theory, if you try to figure it out. I think by March, you should see most of the pain being displayed on the balance sheets and hit being taken, with some minor, skirmishes being left for April, May, June quarter. Having said that, is it being factored in the price? Yes, right now, I think most of the PSU banks and quite a few of the private sector banks also, the pain is being factored in, whatever is discernible and what can be foreseen.